gentlemen, welcome back to Modded Minecraft with Triaxx2. As you can see before you, I have built a giant Stirling engine. Now, the whole purpose of this engine is essentially to contain all of the power production for my entire empire, if you will. So it's actually got two levels. The bottom level here, and over here, as I said, there's a... I should clean that up a little bit, but as I said, there's a infinite water pool here connected to the big lake, just in case. And on the upstairs level, well, another area. I'm considering making this part a couple of walls of power bank, essentially. Maybe energy cubes and Ryo capacitors, and then tie it all together up here through the middle. And I should probably put some lighting up here, even though it's not strictly necessary. And yeah, so now over here is the already linked up power station, basically, and it just runs down here. I'll run around this and stop here, and I intend to have maybe 5 or 6 different flux loaders all running down the sides of the building, supplied by probably high voltage cabling from immersive engineering. Whereas back here I have essentially a giant size refinery, and there'll be 1, 2, 3 of the Buildcraft refineries stacked on top of each other, with oil coming in the back and fuel coming out the front. Of course, I'll need some starter power for it. I'm thinking I may try and set up a small tree farm. I know we have, well, maybe not a tree farm necessarily, but some sort of farm. The idea being that if we can run it on, say, biofuel or biodiesel or biomass, we'll be able to automate fuel production and have fuel as okay, we've reached a point in our power where we need more juice, so we can go to fuel and basically supplement our power. Basically multiple levels of, okay, we need more power, so let's turn something else on. Whether we do fuel in a biodiesel, in a diesel generator, in an IE diesel generator, is much more efficient than biodiesel in a diesel generator, but fuel is not a renewable resource, so I'm not entirely certain. I may set it up so that fuel only is only actually put into the generator when the power is required, which is doable with pumps from immersive engineering, which require a redstone signal and can pump out of containers. So I'd be able to set it up at the tank there to pump fuel out only when we've reached a certain point. I have shut down the quarry, or rather the quarry has finished up here, and I simply have not yet gotten it moved. I need to build some universal cable and run some chunk loading from here, because if we go over here, I am in need of food, I can see, but yeah, I can simply right-click this landmark and and it will connect to 3 others, and they will basically have an instant quarry ready for use as soon as I need more resources, which, well, at this point I actually kind of need to let the processing train go for a while before I actually need more resources. I still have not set up my private train, which is why I keep having to run everywhere. And I need to do that, because I know for a fact that the 3-speed train, that my private train, which is got 3 locomotives on it, will be faster than running. Has to be faster than running. Even with the super speed armor here. You know what? I almost want to go back to here and make sure that the trains have not crashed. It doesn't look like it. Alright, so let's jump back to the new house, and then we will head over here. I'll also still have to set up the private train so that it will come back here after it's finished. You can see that the forestry train is now working, because well, I'll show you in a second here. It's no challenge at all to outrun the forestry train here. Like I said, I've set up a train to go to the rail workshop. I just haven't set it off because, well, that requires oak wood, and we're having a slight deficiency of oak wood. And the reason is, if we come over here, this is now making charcoal. Into charcoal blocks, essentially. And as you can hear, we now have more than just the 2 hobbyist steam engines. And they're having a bit of trouble keeping up with... Oh, wait, no they're not. They've now got power enough for that, but the system is having issues keeping up with the amount of oak wood that I need. So I need some sort of alternate fuel source for the trains, and I'm not quite sure what other options. I kind of wish there were more options, but you get coal and charcoal and coal coke, and not really sure what other options there are for the train. So now if I can lay my hands on some lava stones, that would be fine, or some fire stones, that would be okay, but they take a while to charge. I used a Buildcraft factory chute, which will drop onto the immersive engineering conveyor belts, and ran a lot of iron through the metal press in order to get the iron that I need, or iron plates that I needed to make the sheet metal to make those tanks. And forestry train. Forestry train is not getting any flux power. Now I did reconfigure this whole setup so that the processing train can refuel. And I did that by using immersive engineering wires to run from there to this post and also to this post, and then realized that it was too far away to reach the flux loader here, so I had to put this structure over the top, and this looks completely unsupported, which makes it look awful, but I'm not quite sure how to support it just yet. I think I have. Let me switch this out. Yes, I have. Aha, here we go. So, nope. Shift that. There we go. Now it looks a little supported, at least. It still looks silly because it's now... Yeah, well, I'll play with that. If anybody's got a good suggestion for a way to make it look nice, let me know. I should probably set up a thing here to do it, and because it doesn't really use a lot of power, I could probably use another post there, and then here, and then use a flux loader. I don't know, I'll think about that. But the forestry train seems to be working just fine, even if the forestry farm doesn't appear to be producing quite as many trees as you might hope. Yeah, it's completely out, and it's back and all set up, and the loader, yeah, a little less than a full stack of wood, so I'm not quite sure what other options there are, but if we watch this for a minute, it should chop down the trees. Yep, there's one, and there's the other one. Hang on, let's see. Ethanol. Let's see. Interesting thought. No. Right. Takes a little bit to get over the trees sometimes. If I go here, well, I wonder will this burn the ethanol? There's no reason it shouldn't, all things considered. Although, actually getting it in here in burnable form would be an interesting... I suppose wax capsules would be a good option. If I were to automate the bees a little bit more. Basically have them combs automatically extracted, and then where's the other one? There it is. Beeswax automatically turned into capsules. Incidentally, I harvested several stacks of nether quartz ore, which hang on, let me put this away, break out the tool bag. I created the silken pick, which is cobalt pickaxe head, paper binding, and a steel tool rod, which, if you don't mind, thank you very much. And that gives it a durability of 10th of 1,000. And then I put a Ender IO capacitor on there to give me my a million RF, 100 redstone, and a silky jewel, and it has a mining speed of 20. It more or less instantly mines just about anything I swing it at. And I used it to get about 2 stacks worth of nether quartz, and all things considered, I ended up with a lot of nether quartz. Almost 1,000 nether quartz before counting whatever was just sent through that chest. And is right now on its way to the setup, to the warehouse. That was it. That's the word. I also made an osmotic enchanter. You gonna give me the recipe? No, you're not gonna give me the recipe because it's because it's a Thalmic Tinkerer thing. But you go into Thalmic Tinkering, and down Helmet of Revealing, which is what I'm wearing, a Stonian Helm plus Goggles of Revealing. Then Spellbinding Cloth, and that leads to the Osmotic Enchanter, which is this infusion. This was a bit of a pain in the neck, and I had to go to the end for more Ender Pearls to get the Alienus to do that. And I had to go hunting obsidian tiles in order to make this. Fortunately, I found a couple of altars way up here. Oops, hang on. Hang on here. There we go. Sorry, I'm not playing in full screen, and so I accidentally grabbed the bar. Where are those? They were in fact quite a ways up here. I don't see where they've gone now. They're actually near one of the town, or one of the villages up here. Ah, here they are. This one, and this one. Well, you probably can't see my mouse, I don't think. But yeah, just to the north of the big building here, and I took the wand of equal trade and turned all the totems into dirt, and so I was able to throw in my helmet of revealing and one of my wands and put repair and protection on this one. So it requires I have a wand or my obsidian staff in my bag, or in my inventory rather than in the bag, but then it will repair the helmet. So excuse me, so I can wander around with my helmet on, with that, and not have to worry about my helmet breaking. How are you doing for charcoal? You're still pretty light on the charcoal, aren't you? Yep. Here, let's... Yeah. So this is kind of a slow method of getting charcoal now. I'm not quite sure what to do to accelerate the process, actually. It's reaching the point where I do in fact need more charcoal than my current power systems can keep up with. Yeah, I'm totally out of ideas here. If anybody's got a thought, I'd really hate the fact that I'm still using lava, even though I'm now on my... I've now used up my first oil well out in my local area, and the train goes out to there fairly often. Although at the moment all those oil is powering is this redstone flux loader. I need more, I know, but I also had to come over here and finish out this track so that because the processing train now routes through here in order to recharge, simply because I needed it off the main line. Ow. And because this was no longer doing it, and I was actually sitting here, came over this way and saw the fueling train sitting here, stuck, and could not figure out what had happened until I realized, oh, excuse me, removed the flux loader without actually removing the track that it was, yeah, that's the word. The track that was there to stop a train in front of it, and so my fueling train was just sort of sitting there because there was nothing to activate the track. Let's see. So I need to decide both what kind of power system to begin with and where I'm going to set up a farm. There's not really... Farming options are a little bit limited. I could use the Ender IO farming station, but that requires a Z-Logic controller, which is a pain in the neck. Excuse me. I don't know if farm blocks are capable of handling industrial wheat. I could actually set up a farm, multi-farm for the... you know what? Hang on. Let's see. You in here, and you come out. There's my manual, and we need power wire generators. What do we got? We got power generation. No. Here you go. Diesel generator to biodiesel, which needs the squeezer and the fermenter, which aren't so bad. Alright, so now a wheat farm, and then that would actually work pretty well. It would be a wheat farm that would be relatively well balanced. Of course, the problem with that is that it will both eventually need more fertilizer and eventually need to be, or rather, it will need some power to start up. If I do it over there, though, Power's easy. Fertilizer. Concentrated compound. Concentrated compound is made from is okay. We don't know how to do that. Oh, that's why, because it's magic bees, which means you'd have to research it. Appetite's not exactly the hardest thing in the world to find. Oops, wrong button. Niter comes from saltpeter or oh wait, we can crush gunpowder or we can crush sandstone technically. Oh, we could sag mill it. If you do this with flint in there, you can typically get back enough sand to basically create an infinite loop of it. Yeah. What? Oh, excuse me again. No. Either option. Oh wait, no. We want actual saltpeter. Okay. Niter, saltpeter, niter, saltpeter. Right. There's no recipe for saltpeter, which is irritating. Yeah. Essentially, you need fertilizer for your forestry farm because I'm not sure why. But yeah. So I could do a farm blocks. I'd probably make it out of sandstone. I don't know why it always gives me the quartz block option. Even if I click, say, the stone bricks. Hello. Yeah, it's all the same. But yeah, I could use just basic sandstone and make the multi-farm, which wouldn't be so bad. On the other hand, I've never actually tried out one of these robots. Possibly because robots are stupendously expensive. Yeah, that's 2 diamonds and a redstone crystal, which is a block of redstone, and what is it? 10 million RF? Yeah, that'll take a while. Although, let's try that. Let's have a look at that. I don't want to play with. Well, I need docking stations anyway, but those aren't terribly expensive. Let's see. So basically, you need a planter and what do we got? Not harvester. So you need a planter and a although I don't know if I'd have to play with that because the harvester could be. If the harvester could right-click crops, you could set it up to do that. I'll have to look into. I'm not really sure what that's for. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me again. I've never actually played with the robots, so if I were going to do that, I would actually go all out with the robots. I didn't include. No, I didn't include Steve's carts, because if all else fails, I could throw in Steve's carts and have a solar-powered wheat farm, and it would produce gastronomical amounts of wheat and seeds, and basically run everything forever. But that would sort of be against the rules I've set for myself, because it'd basically end up being a infinite solar-powered farm, which I kind of want to avoid. I mean, I could convert the entire roof of this structure into solar power and never have power needs again. It wouldn't be that difficult, but like I said, sort of against the rules I've set myself. It's why, even though I have immersive engineering, I haven't set up water wheels and windmills, because then you don't actually need any additional power. On the other hand, if I produce biodiesel, I don't have a fluid steam boiler, do I? No, I don't. Let's come in here. Let's see. Oh, wait, wrong button. Firebox. Liquid fuel boiler firebox. It's a little bit expensive. You know what? Not steer, steam. I go to steam. Okay. Thought there was a way you could get to. No, I guess not. Alright. What's. Oh, steak and chips. Okay. Let's go to this boiler over here. Turn you off there. Thank you. Right, so. Diesel. So, biodiesel would be what? Okay, you gotta have it in a... Yeah, it doesn't seem to have the burn time in the high-pressure boiler tank, so... Or in a solid-fueled boiler, it doesn't mention the... Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to play with it in a creative test world. We'll use some of the creative tanks and see... Where is it? There it is. The creative portable tank, and see what kind of power and burn time we can get out of a steam boiler. And then I will be back in the next episode, and I should have a plan in mind, because if we go to, real quick before we're done, if we go here to our engineer's manual, the diesel generator is a surprisingly expensive block, and so, but it does produce a metric ton of power. So fuel burns 3 times as long as biodiesel, which is kind of insane. And so it produces a lot more power per bucket, but it does so over a longer period of time, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means that you have to connect up multiple outputs, and it either needs high-end energy conduits, so it needs the, I think the enhanced energy conduit is the minimum you can do, but you could run that into a second level capacitor, the standard capacitor instead of the basic one, and that would give you the excuse me. These don't have it listed in RF, which is, I find, mildly irritating. But basically, I think Elite is where you have to go in order to get all the power out with that, or wire. I believe you can go with no, I think it's got to be 3 HV wire connectors, which aren't bad, nor are the wire relays. Although this is a little expensive. That recipe's changed since last time I used it, I think. I don't remember what it was, but I know it's more expensive now. But it ends up being a lot of steel necessary to... Yeah, I was teleporting around, making sure everything works. But this machine this works. I just haven't figured out how to get the tickets out. I'm thinking I can use translocators, because all it has to do is pull a ticket and make sure, and then I can make sure paper's kept in with an automated system. So I will eventually get this working. It's just taking a little while. Oops, not what I wanted. Alright, so this has been Modded Minecraft with Triaxx2, getting nothing done in the episode, but I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.